Jeff and Jeremy in the Morning podcast brought to you commercial free by another podcast. You've subscribed to ours, now subscribe to theirs. It's the SLO County Real Estate Podcast with Hal Swayze. When you're done with this, go listen to something that will actually enrich your life. California DRE 01111911.
805. It's Jeff and Jeremy in the Morning on demand at KZOZ.com and wherever you listen to your podcast. You can catch all 4 hours of the show. Thanks to our friends at Team Swayze at KZOZ.com and wherever you listen to your podcast. Just search Jeff and Jeremy in the Morning. And if you love podcasts, you're thinking about getting into real estate, you want to learn more about real estate in our community, check out the SLO County Real Estate Podcast wherever you listen to yours.
Lots of stuff going on right now in wake of the fires. New episode dropped yesterday for the audio version. It's been out on YouTube for a couple days now, just about wildfires and what it means going forward. I believe they said on there that, the early estimates are on people's premiums because this cost is going to have to be spread out across the state through insurance companies in order to get their money back for all that they're going to have to pay the people that were insured during the losses of the fires. It would be like $1,100 added onto your annual premium.
Jeez.
That's what their early calculations are. Hopefully they can get that number down at some point along there. But I know that once they throw out a number, usually that number goes up. It doesn't go down.
Right.
Well,
yeah, nothing ever goes down. I mean, never is a strong word, but usually things don't go down.
So, yuck. But very informative. Hey, listen, they don't guarantee that you're going to like the information. They're just going to give you the information so you can do what you can with it. I did something over the weekend I haven't yet to talk to you about. And that is I made a crunch wrap at home. Now, I don't know if I made a crunch wrap in the vein. I've never ordered a crunch wrap at Taco Bell. Does it have, what makes it a crunch wrap? Because do they put like a crispy tortilla or something in the middle of it?
Yeah. So you got the meat, you got the lettuce, you got the tomatoes, all that kind of stuff, and the sauce and the cheese. And then they put a crunchy, what's the name of that salad I'm trying to think of?
Tostada?
Like a tostada shell, that the tostada comes on.
Okay, I did not make a crunch wrap.
And then they put more meat, cheese, whatever, and then they wrap it all up. I believe that's what makes it the crunch wrap.
I did something totally different. I made a breakfast crunch wrap. And what I did was I took one of those hash brown patties.
Yeah.
You know those hash brown patties?
Yeah,
those cook up amazing in an air fryer, by the way. Better than McDonald's.
Walmart has a really good, their toaster hash browns. Like they're already cooked.
I can't do that.
And they're in this little white box. They're all lined up. And it's got this plastic cellophane on top. And I tell you, it's the best. My buddy makes us these breakfast sandwiches. It's just sausage and a hash brown. He's the plainest guy. No egg, no cheese, just bun, English muffin, sausage patty, hash brown. I'm like, Ben, can I put ketchup on this? We call them McBenny's. I'm like, how about you just put a slice of cheese on? Oh, you got to get fancy. Oh, you got to have a slice of cheese on it. Dude, otherwise it's so dry. But with a slice of cheese, it's actually not bad.
Ben would hate my crunch wrap then. So what I did is I took one of those hash brown patties, took a sausage patty, and then fried up an egg, put the egg on it, put a little taco seasoning on the egg, and then threw some cheese on top of it, some shredded cheese on top of it.
Gotcha.
And then folded it up, and then grilled the tortilla on both sides. Like they do a crunch wrap. Now, I don't have that cool contraption.
Is there any meat in there or just egg and cheese?
Yeah, sausage patty.
Oh, okay. Missed that part. We are so focused on the hash brown line.
Hash brown, sausage patty, egg, cheese.
Yeah.
And a little bit of hot sauce. I do put a little bit of hot sauce in there.
What's the brand? What do you use?
I use Frank's. I think Frank's is... I'm starting to gravitate more and more towards Frank's. Okay. I don't know what it is. It's the right balance, especially when you're cooking something. But anyways, It is.
And Frank's makes a hot sauce separate than a buffalo
Cayucas-
sauce, right? It's different than
Yes.
they have a buffalo sauce, but they also make a hot sauce.
Right.
Yeah, I don't
the
think I've ever
buffalo
tried the
is
hot
that
sauce.
orange.
Okay.
So it is more red, but it has a thicker consistency to it, which is good for holding together, not blending into the hash brown and the egg and all
Gotcha.
that stuff. But I made this crunch wrap, breakfast crunch wrap, and I asked the family. I said, "You guys want to try this breakfast crunch wrap?" I cut it in half. My son's like, "Yeah, I'll try that," and he liked it. Have you ever tried to make something that they make in a restaurant at home?
Sure. Yeah.
Like what? And Red Lobster biscuits don't count because the mix that you buy at Costco is just it's Bisquick essentially. Like you got to get creative when you're doing this kind of stuff.
Oh, you do? You got to get creative.
Those biscuits. Well, if it says Red Lobster biscuits on it, then you're just making their biscuits for them.
I see. Okay. Yeah, then I guess I really haven't. I mean, I make stuff all the time, but I don't know if I've ever tried to mimic something that's done in a restaurant. I usually cook meat. That's kind of my department. I'm the meat cooker. And then, Charlene can cook whatever the side dish is that goes with it.
Could you try to do a crunch wrap?
Yes, I have tortillas here. I have the Mexican cheese. I have bacon I would have to cook. I don't have any sausage patties.
That's fine. Bacon works good too.
Yeah, and a fried egg. You had a fried egg, yeah. I made myself a fried egg sandwich this morning, and I overdid it because I put too much mayonnaise on the bread, and then I made too many eggs. It was sourdough, big loaf, right? So I should have used 2 eggs instead of 4.
What is a fried egg sandwich? It's just mayonnaise and egg?
So you toast the bread, you put a little mayonnaise down, then you put American cheese down, then you put a fried egg down, a little salt and pepper, top piece.
Why do you need the mayonnaise?
It gives it the tang.
No, it doesn't. It gives it the gross.
I mean, you could try it without. You could put butter too. You could just use butter would be really good. Butter on sourdough toast, and then your cheese, your egg, so it melts it, a little bit of salt and pepper. That's an fried egg sandwich. Pretty good. I love fried egg sandwiches. Now that eggs I don't even care about the bird flu. I think this is such BS, right? I know people are getting sick. I mean, such a small number, but I'm willing to risk it because I love eggs that much. Eggs Benedict,
yesterday,
scrambled eggs, fried eggs, over easy eggs, omelets, eggs in Chinese food like fried rice. Amazing.
You have to have it. It really ties it together.
You can't have fried rice.
It really does.
Yeah, you can't have it.
Yeah. In Search for Cheap Eggs was pressing me yesterday on the secret for my cheap eggs or cheaper eggs. I don't consider this cheap. Like eggs should cost about $2.50 a dozen, maybe $2.99. I still pay a little bit more for them than that, but I'm not paying $10 a dozen.
Well,
like
people were asking me, are you buying them at a store?
I'm not.
You don't have to say which store. You don't have to say which county. You don't even have to say which state.
I'm buying them, but I'm just buying them.
Are you buying them from a store or are you buying them from a farm? Are you getting them at a farm?
I'm buying
them. Are you going to a farm?
They come from a farm. Yes.
No. Are you going to the farm to buy them?
They come from a farm, best of my knowledge.
Okay, so you're not buying them at a farm. Okay, so that's okay. So there is somewhere that you can buy eggs for how much? What do you pay?
I think we pay $3.69 or $3.99. I'm not
for
sure.
A dozen.
For a dozen eggs, but my wife goes early. she waits in the parking lot on Saturday morning because they sell out because the price is so good. So I'm not going to say anything.
You've already said a lot. Saturday morning.
I haven't.
Sell out.
All grocery stores are open on Saturday morning.
I doubt this is like a market thing, like the Saturday's farmers market somewhere, because I feel that they would charge more for their eggs just because it's,
it's
from the farm.
Organic, grass-fed.
Yeah.
What's that stuff that Reagan was telling us about?
Spira.
Yeah, it's got seaborne superfoods, fertilizer.
93.3 KZOZ rocks the 805.
Is it Albertsons? Does she go to Albertsons on Saturday morning to get the best deal on eggs? I bet it's Albertsons.
Sure. Yeah.
Or Smart and Final.
Sure.
Or Grocery Outlet.
Sure,
Bargain
yeah.
Market. Am I missing
Grocery
any?
Outlet. The thing I love about Grocery Outlet is they have a little bit of something for everything that you need in the world. Like I'm not kidding. I went there to get bananas the other day.
I wouldn't literally, I could see from my house almost.
And I needed I
never go there.
my thing, the suction cup. So I have like one of these suction cup phone holders for the car. And the suction had worn off. Like last summer, like just totally cooked the suction cup, and it like rendered it useless.
Right.
So every time I put the phone in, it would hold it for like 45 seconds, and they would start to bend down. And I'm like, oh no! And then I'm just driving down the road. I have to catch it as I'm driving, so it doesn't hit the ground. Because when you see something falling, you have to try to catch it. So I bought a new mount for as like bananas and cell phone mount. How often does that happen? When you walk into a grocery outlet, it's a good cell phone mount. It mounts on the actual rearview mirror, which is totally dorky.
You have a cell phone mount on your rearview mirror?
Yeah, but it's basically two claws that go on the top and the bottom of the rearview mirror. It's got a little mount that comes off of it, and then you put your phone in that little mount that comes off of it. It's not falling down, or the phone's not falling off of it. I had one for a while that I liked that was magnetic, but then it required me to have this big magnet on the back of my phone. And I think that is what made my phones not work so good, is there's a huge, powerful magnet on the back of it.
Okay.
I'm like, oh, well, you don't need that. So, yeah. I'm sure you could get them at Grocery Outlet. You can get eggs anywhere, man. You can get eggs any grocery store.
I know you're a big Grocery Outlet shopper. It could be there. It might be. Go there on Saturday morning.
What would suggest that I'm a big
and look for this woman hoarding all the eggs.
Yeah.
She's very small in stature. She's not very big.
I like Grocery Outlet, but there's certain things, like Grocery Outlet's like anywhere else. It's like you go there for the savings, and then sometimes you have to buy some staples, and the staples will be priced at what they are at other grocery stores.
You ever buy meat out of the meat section at Grocery Outlet?
Yeah, sometimes they have really good. Actually, they had really good bacon there.
Good deal on bacon.
It was a good deal because the package of bacon was like $5.
Yeah.
It was $4.99.
Freeze
and
it.
it was like some of the best bacon. I should have bought more.
I told you this is my manager special hack at Vaughn's in Albertsons. Is you go in there and you get it, and then if you're not going to eat it right away, just freeze it.
The thing is, this is better bacon than I'd ever gotten anywhere else outside of a Butcher Block.
Oh.
You know, I think Butcher Block bacon's the best. And actually, that's a pretty good hack, actually. So if you go to like Albertsons or somewhere that has a Butcher Block, I try not to go to Albertsons because I think the manager there is a real piece of work. So Vaughn's, I'll just say Vaughn's. Go to Vaughn's in Atascadero or something like that. And
See, now what we know is he's not going to Albertsons because he doesn't like the manager. It could be Grocery Outlet, could be Smart and Final, or it could be Vaughn's. We're going to narrow it down before the show's over today.
As the manager
where these eggs are under $4 a dozen.
I asked the manager once, I was like, hey, I had to get a balloon for one of my kids' birthdays. I'm like, hey, I need to get some helium in a balloon. He looked at me and he goes, well, that's not my job. And I'm getting ready to get off. And I said, can you direct me into somebody who it is their job? He's like, that person's gone for the day. I'm like, okay, I'll just go talk to somebody else. I wouldn't talk to somebody else. I said, that guy over there that says he's the manager said it was not his job and I had to get somebody else. Would you know how to do this? And the lady was embarrassed and she felt bad and she filled up the balloon. I was like, wow, how did you get a job as a manager, man?
Yeah.
How did you get a job?
That lady should be the manager. That's
absolutely.
manager material right there.
Absolutely. Yeah. She's like, oh, God, I'll do it. You know, I like.
Anybody else got an issue with the manager at the Albertsons in Paso? 805-543-3693.
Jeff and Jeremy in the morning. 93.3 KZOZ rocks.
Have a good morning.
Have you ever posted anything on our Instagram page?
No, I don't even know what it is.
At Jeff and Jeremy. Anyways, what is this music?
This is Hulk Hogan's theme song, Real
okay.
American.
Oh, yes. I do recognize it now.
Are you going to call it Gulf of Mexico or Gulf of America?
Gulf of America. I'm American.
Okay.
Well, it depends. If I'm in Mexico, I'm not risking it. I'm just going to go Gulf of Mexico.
You're a fence setter.
I'm not a fence setter. I'm a common sense guy.
I'm glad you never.
You don't want to say something to the wrong guy. You know what I mean?
I'm glad. Pete Hegseth is the new defense director.
He's got the military behind him. I'm not going to have anybody.
That's
they
true.
wouldn't even let me bring a firearm across the border. So, yeah, I'm going to play nice while I'm there.
So when the cartel is asking you, is it America or is it Mexico?
I know you're happy that Donald Trump is our president, correct? You're
Gulf
happy,
of Mexico.
You're happy
Yes.
about that. Are you going to wear a Trump T-shirt into Mexico? Would you,
It depends on where you're going in
If
Mexico.
I bought you a Trump T-shirt, would you wear it in Mexico?
Well, I don't even go to Mexico. I don't like Mexico.
Yeah, I know.
Like, there's
Okay,
nothing
don't
I
change
find
the subject.
appealing about Mexico.
You know where I'm going with this. You're going to play nice just to be safe.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't wear a Trump shirt into Mexico.
Not yet. Let's see how it goes.
So yes, but you're going to call it the Gulf of America. Google is calling it the Gulf of America.
Yes, I saw
Google
that.
Maps, and they're also calling what was formerly known as Mount McKinley, and then they changed it to Mount Denali, and now they're changing it back.
Obama changed it to Mount Denali because it's in Denali National Forest. I don't know why he changed it. I'm sure
National Park.
If I paid attention to history, I would know.
Yeah.
But Trump said no. We're putting it back to Mount McKinley. I have some friends that live up there, and they're 6 one, half dozen the other. One guy owns a shop like where he sells trinkets, and he loves it because everything that says Mount Denali now is kind of a collector's item. It was the same way back in the day when it was McKinley and they switched it. Everything that they sold that said Mount McKinley on it was a collector's item, and he sold out of it really quick, and so he was really happy with it. He doesn't care either way.
This is what's funky about the Google thing with Mount McKinley and Gulf of America is for American users, it will reflect Mount McKinley and Gulf of America. If you're going to use Google Maps and say you're just using Google Maps and you're visiting Monaco, and you're in Monaco and you're scrolling on Google Maps.
You know, Monaco's not in Mexico, right? You do know it's in Brazil.
Yeah, Monaco's in Africa.
It's in Brazil, yeah.
In Brazil? It's not in Brazil. It's in Africa. What would be in Brazil? Monaco is not in Brazil. Come on, bro. You going to really come at me like you know geography? Mister, I've never been east of the Mississippi. You're going to tell me, except for the one time I went to Europe, Monaco is not in Brazil. Say it. I want you to say it. I want you to own up to your mistakes. Say it. Don't brush it off.
I'm reading
like it's
Wikipedia. I thought it was in Brazil.
No. Rio de Janeiro is.
Oh, man, I'm getting them confused.
Oh, yeah.
Is Rio the one
Monaco.
with the statue?
Monaco and Rio de Janeiro are they sound very similar. Yes. I could see how you could get confused. Anyways, if you're in Monaco and you're scrolling through Google Maps and you look at the United States of America, it will still say Mount Denali and it will still say Gulf of Mexico.
Okay.
It is only when the local governments make it law that they will change it, but only in the countries that it's being changed in. But what's being overlooked by all this is Google also has listed the United States as a sensitive country. Other countries that are sensitive countries, Israel, Iran, Russia, Ukraine. Is that cause for pause?
By the way, Monaco is not in Africa. It's in Europe.
Is it? Is
the
it
French
right?
Riviera.
It's right there at the border, right? Monaco is on the other side of the straits to get into the Mediterranean Sea. Is that what the deal is?
Yeah, it's in Europe. It's not in Africa.
Are you sure about that?
It's not
on the African
It's not in
peninsula
Brazil either. It's not in Brazil either.
Definitely not in Brazil.
No.
Country in Europe. There you go. Oh, yeah, it's on the other side of the Straits. Okay.
Well,
My bad.
there's a big sea in between, yeah.
Yeah. It's like they should build a bridge there. That's what I think.
I mean, you could take a boat over to Tuscany, you go over to Italy. It's just west of Italy.
Oh, yeah, I was way off.
Yeah, we both
Okay,
were,
anyways.
so I'm not going to give you that bad hard of a time for it. And anybody
I said
writing in
Africa?
right now calling
That's
us
dumb.
morons, you go right ahead. Africa is much further south.
Wait, which one was I thinking of that's the big one in Africa that I'm like, wow, that shouldn't be in Africa?
I don't know.
Never mind. Okay. I thought
mean,
it was down by the Straits.
Brazil is a
Straits of
totally different
Gibraltar.
continent. A totally different continent. So you were closer. You were much
Brazil's not even a continent. It's a country
Well, it's a country.
on a continent. What continent?
South America. South America.
Good job. Good job.
Hey, thanks, Coach.
I was thinking Morocco. Okay, Morocco, Monaco.
Oh, dumb Americans, you call it the Gulf of America.
Monaco and Morocco to me are the same damn thing.
Yeah,
Okay.
I know. Okay, so let's
So this is why I'm
let's
thinking
get some
this-
history together here. Okay, Brazil's in South America. Monaco
Yeah.
is in Europe.
Morocco is in Africa,
Yeah.
or is on the continent of Africa.
Somewhere.
But it's like the nice part of Africa, right? Like it's like that's where all the money is, Morocco. Morocco, Monaco, you can see how I can get that mixed up. Anyways. It's funny. I'm on Google Maps right now. They still have it labeled as Gulf of Mexico. I'm in the United States right now. Why is it showing me the Gulf of Mexico? They still haven't changed it.
Well, give them time.
They said they're going to change it. But
Maybe February 1st. Maybe looking for a hard
but
date. So give them a
does
couple
it
days.
concern you at all
No.
that the United States is considered a sensitive country like Iran, like Israel, like Ukraine, like Russia, because I guess the way Google views it is they have a sign of aggression towards Mexico because they're changing the name of the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America.
I believe this has something to do with oil, and it has something to do with exporting and things like that. So I don't know everything. I've been reading
No,
about
it does.
Yeah, and so this was a business move. We know Trump's a business guy. This isn't I'm the king of the world type thing like most Democrats or liberals want you to
No,
believe
what this
he's doing.
boils down to is Biden signed an executive order that's very hard to get around when it comes to drilling for oil in the Gulf of Mexico.
New drilling.
So
right?
he just-
new drilling,
Huh?
not expanding new drilling. He did it over here on
Yeah.
Santa Barbara too, on the Channel Islands.
It's very hard to get around this law. The easiest way to get around this law is just change the name of the Gulf.
It's brilliant. It's so simple.
Jeff and Jeremy in the morning on 93.3 KZZ.
Jeff and Jeremy in the Morning podcast brought to you commercial free by another podcast. You've subscribed to ours, now subscribe to theirs. It's the Slow County Real Estate Podcast with Hal Swayze. When you're done with this, go listen to something that will actually enrich your life. California DRE 01111 911.